If you had a talent so powerful it could destroy the very people who admired you, what would you do? Sit back, relax, and grab your popcorn. What you're about to hear is no ordinary story. Follow, like, and comment, because this kind of tale doesn't come twice. Her dresses were killing people, literally. Meet Favour Adebayo, Lagos's most celebrated fashion designer. Her boutique on Victoria Island attracted celebrities, politicians' wives, and socialites who paid millions for her exclusive pieces. But nobody knew her dark secret, until bodies started dropping. In the bustling fashion district of Lagos, Favour's boutique Divine Threads stood like a golden temple among ordinary shops. The 28-year-old designer had risen from selling second-hand clothes in Alaba Market to dressing Nigeria's elite in just 3 years. Her success story was the talk of every fashion magazine. Favour, your designs are otherworldly, gushed Joy Okafor, wife of a prominent senator, as she admired herself in a midnight blue evening gown. How do you make the fabric feel so alive? Favour smiled mysteriously, her fingers tracing the intricate embroidery. Trade secret, my dear. Some techniques have been in my family for generations. What Joy didn't know was that the beautiful golden threads woven into her dress weren't gold at all. They were human hair, carefully processed, dyed, and twisted into the most exquisite textile Lagos had ever seen. Favour's obsession began during her struggling days. Desperate for success, she'd visited a powerful juju man in a remote Ogun State village. "Madam, you want to be the greatest tailor in Nigeria," the old man had cackled. "Then you must use what makes humans most beautiful, their crown. Hair holds power, holds essence. Weave it into your clothes, and they will be irresistible." The ritual was horrifying. Favour had to collect hair from 7 different people without their knowledge, then perform dark incantations under a blood moon. But it worked. Her first dress made with human hair sold for 10 times her usual price. Soon, wealthy women were fighting over her creations. Miracle Okonkwo, a famous Nollywood actress, wore Favour's emerald dress to the Africa Magic Viewers' Choice Awards and won Best Actress that night. "This dress is my lucky charm," she declared to reporters. But luck wasn't the only thing Favour's dresses brought. Moses Adelik, a successful businessman, commissioned a suit for his wedding. 2 weeks after wearing it, he collapsed during a board meeting and died of a mysterious heart condition. Doctors were baffled, he was perfectly healthy. Eo Fashola, another client, wore Favour's design to her daughter's graduation. That same evening, she was found dead in her bedroom, her face frozen in terror. The coroner found no cause of death. Toyo Williams, a popular musician, performed in one of Favour's custom stage outfits. Mid-performance, he clutched his chest and died instantly. Fans called it a heart attack, but his family knew something was wrong. The deaths seemed random, unconnected. But they all shared one thing: they'd worn Favour's clothes shortly before dying. Detective Inspector Grace Nwosu noticed the pattern first. 3 unexplained deaths, all clients of the same designer, she told her partner. That's not a coincidence. Meanwhile, Favour's success grew darker. The juju man had warned her that the power came with a price. "Every thread of hair you steal shortens the owner's life," it whispered. "And eventually, it will demand your soul too." But Favour was addicted to the fame, the money, the worship of Lagos's elite. She convinced herself the deaths were natural. After all, rich people died all the time, didn't they? Her collection method became more sinister. She'd hire young girls as interns, then secretly cut their hair while they slept in the boutique's back room. She'd visit salons and collect discarded hair, not knowing that removing someone's hair without permission in this ritual context was stealing their life force. The more hair she used, the more beautiful her clothes became, and the more deadly. Joy Okafor, still wearing that midnight blue dress, began having nightmares. In her dreams, she felt invisible hands pulling at her scalp, yanking away her essence strand by strand. She grew weaker each day, but couldn't understand why. Miracle's luck turned completely. After wearing that emerald dress, every movie she touched flopped. Directors stopped calling. Her marriage fell apart. She aged rapidly, as if years were passing in months. But Favor didn't care. She was now the most sought-after designer in West Africa. International brands wanted to collaborate. Fashion Week invitations poured in from Paris, Milan, New York. Success tastes sweeter when it's forbidden, she whispered to herself one night, weaving fresh hair into a wedding dress destined for a governor's daughter. She had no idea that Detective Nwosu was already watching her boutique, or that the families of the dead were asking questions, or that her dark ritual was about to demand its ultimate price. The hunt for Lagos's most dangerous tailor was about to begin. Detective Nwosu's investigation led her to Favor's old neighborhood in Mushin. Neighbors whispered strange stories about the designer's sudden transformation. She used to be so ordinary, said Mama Kemi, who sold pure water on the street corner. Then one day, she came back from a different trip. Her eyes, they weren't the same. The breakthrough came when Joy Okafor's housemaid, suspicious of her madam's declining health, followed the dress back to divine threads. She witnessed Favor performing a ritual over new fabrics at midnight, chanting in a language that made her blood run cold. She was sprinkling something that looked like hair into the cloth, the terrified maid told police. And the hair was moving by itself. Armed with a search warrant, Detective Nwosu and her team raided the boutique. What they found in the main shop was disturbing enough: bottles of hair organized by color and texture, strange oils, and ritual implements hidden behind designer mannequins. But the real horror was in Favor's backyard. Under a beautiful garden where she grew exotic flowers, they discovered shallow graves. Not bodies, but scalps. Dozens of them, perfectly preserved through dark magic. Each scalp had a name tag: Joy, Miracle, Moses, Ao, Toyo, and many others. Dear God, whispered Detective Nwosu, covering her mouth. She wasn't just stealing hair. She was stealing souls. The forensic team made an even more chilling discovery. The scalps were still growing hair, even in death. The ritual had created a grotesque hair farm powered by stolen life force. When they arrested Favor, she showed no remorse. You don't understand, she laughed maniacally. I gave Lagos the most beautiful clothes it had ever seen. Those people died wearing art. But the Juju man's final curse was already taking hold. As police led her away, Favor's own hair began falling out in clumps. Her reflection in the boutique mirrors showed not her face, but the faces of everyone she'd killed. The trial was a sensation. Nigeria had never seen a case like it. Evidence included the supernatural hair farm, testimonies from surviving clients who'd experienced nightmares and illness, and expert witnesses who confirmed the presence of dark magic in the fabrics. Joy Okafor, who'd worn that midnight blue dress, survived but was permanently changed. I can still feel the weight of that dress on my shoulders, she testified. It felt like someone else's skin. Miracle Okonkwo, once radiant, appeared in court looking decades older. She didn't just steal our hair, she said, her voice broken. She stole our essence, our future, our very souls. The judge sentenced Favor to life imprisonment, but that wasn't her real punishment. In her cell, Favor discovered the ultimate price of her dark bargain. Every night, the spirits of her victims visited her. They didn't seek revenge, they sought their hair back. They pulled at her scalp, her arms, her eyebrows, until she was completely bald. But the horror didn't end there. Without hair, Favor began to lose her own life force. She aged rapidly, her skin withering, her mind fragmenting. The same fate she'd inflicted on others was now her own. Within 6 months of her arrest, Favor Adebayo died in prison. Guards found her body completely hairless, her face frozen in the same terror her victims had experienced. The boutique was demolished, but locals say strange things still happen at that spot on Victoria Island. Mannequins in nearby shops sometimes grow hair overnight. Seamstresses report their scissors moving by themselves. And sometimes, late at night, people hear the sound of a sewing machine that no one is operating. Detective Nwosu, now retired, keeps one piece of evidence from the case, a single thread from Favour's supernatural fabric. Evil like this doesn't just disappear, she warns. It finds new hosts, new ways to spread. The surviving victims formed a support group, but they are forever changed. They check mirrors obsessively, terrified of seeing someone else's reflection. They can't wear certain fabrics without feeling phantom hands on their scalps. Lagos learned a dark lesson from Favour's story: some prices for success are too high to pay. Beauty built on others' suffering always extracts its own terrible cost. Today, Divine Threads is just a cautionary tale whispered among fashion designers. But somewhere in Lagos, another ambitious tailor might be listening to those whispers and wondering if they are brave enough to pay Favour's price. The city's fashion industry was never the same. Designers now bless their workshops, clients examine fabrics suspiciously, and everyone remembers the tailor who stitched with human hair. Because in Lagos, where ambition burns as hot as the sun, some people will do anything to stand out. Even if it costs them their soul. Shortcuts to success that harm others will always come back to destroy you. True achievement must be built on honest work, not on the suffering of innocent people. But Favour wasn't the only one in Lagos using dark magic for success. Thank you for watching.